Hey guys, Justin here. The topic of toxicity in iRacing in the oval community has been a hot topic as of late, so I thought I would give my perspective on it real quick here. As somebody who races with these guys a lot and really sees all the sides of the oval community, I thought that I would like to give my perspective and kind of give some context to things and really how we can get better, but also what is being misunderstood currently. My first impression when I saw the infamous video now was honestly, I thought it was good content. I'm not gonna lie. I skipped through it. I didn't really watch the whole thing. I didn't really see everything that happened. And I thought, man, I kind of want to make a video on that. And going back and watching the whole thing and really seeing all of the reactions from people, I definitely see that I got taken too far. And there was just a point in time where it just needed to stop. It was like middle school, picking on the kid because he's angry and spiraling out of control, and it was not a very good look by the end. And the optics of putting the video out, having thousands of people see it, it's definitely not a good look for the oval community. And as you probably know, my most popular video on this channel so far is not the guides that I make, not any of the track guides and any of that. It's the video where I show how toxic iRacing can be. And honestly, it's a conflicting position because it's like, man, I could get so many views on something is not that hard to make, and really it kind of undermines what my channel is trying to do, and I kind of struggle with that. That's why I haven't really made another one of those, because in my opinion, cherry picking these races that are just the most toxic, horrible races possible is just not a good representation of the iRacing oval community, honestly. But back to the race itself, I kind of want to give some context of how we got here and how we do better. What's kind of hard to see on the outside is that these guys have raced against each other dozens and dozens of times, most likely. Everyone knows everyone in a strength of field of 5,000 or whatever this was in. So this really isn't an isolated incident type of race. It's something that builds up, and it's something that people use prior prejudice and bias on to come to a final head. Unfortunately, what happened was this lobby used their prior biases on a guy who is known to talk a lot in races, always give his opinion on stuff, and they kind of used that to fire back with a lot of ammunition. And the big problem with that is you kind of think that you know the person because you race with them, but at the end of the day, you really only know the person as a virtual race car. You don't know them as their actual selves. So they're also missing out on a lot of context on who this person is and why they do what they do and why they really should not get on his case like they did. I'm trying to approach this as gingerly as possible, but basically what I'm trying to say is when you have a person that is kind of incapable of recognizing social cues, especially over a voice chat when you only have a voice chat to go off of, you can run into a lot of bad situations where people get really wrong ideas. You really treat them a different way because you only know them as a name next to a number next to a car. And I think that's the big lesson to be learned about this, is that even though we know each other's first names and last names, we really don't know each other as people. So I think we need to do better in a way to really just treat everyone as a racer. It's not that deep. We can get mad at each other on the track as racers, as drivers, but when we start bringing it into the personal, getting mad from human to human, we really start treading into territory where we shouldn't be going at all. Now, with that being said, should that video be used as an example for somebody to stay away from the iRacing community no matter what, like I've seen on a couple videos so far? I really think that's a bad representation of the experience that a normal person starting on iRacing will ever get. If you're starting out in iRacing, the type of toxicity that you would maybe face in those levels are purely from a game perspective, people getting mad about wrecking, intentional wrecking, all the stuff that you always see, and none of it's good. I'm not trying to say that it's good, but you really aren't going to reach that level where there's just personal attacks, ganging up, and all of that until you really know who you're racing against. So I really think that the problem is top heavy. I think we need to use this episode as a lesson to the guys that race with each other a lot and basically say, hey, we might think that we know each other as people, but we really don't. We only drive against each other. We only know what our bumpers feel like, if that makes any sense. From my perspective, I really have never faced any toxicity that reached a personal level in any of my hundreds of races. I can only think of a couple times where I got mad at someone for a race incident and said something mean, and vice versa. And I really might be using my experiences and good experiences with the game to give the community a benefit of the doubt. I think at the end of the day, muting voice chat is always a good option. Now, I like a good bit of entertainment with my races, so I always keep my voice chat on. I chime in every once in a while. I have a good time. But if it's really something that you don't want to be dealing with, then you're not missing out on anything if you mute the mics. You really aren't. If you're just here to race and have a good time, just treat us like we're computers in NR 2003 season mode and have a good race, because that could be the best experience for a lot of people. So that's my perspective on the race, on the incident, and on the oval community and iRacing as a whole. If you have anything you want to add, please let me know in the comments below, and I could be missing out on more context. You guys could have some experiences that kind of go contradictory to what I'm saying, or maybe adding on to what I'm saying, but let me know in the comments below and it'll start a good discussion. I think it's a better place here for people that are serious about iRacing than maybe on some of those other channels, to be honest with you. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all on the track.